Jr. is the youngest person in the United States to ever be put to death via the electric chair at only 14 years old. George was executed on June 16, 1944, in the midst of the Jim Crow era, because he was accused of raping and murdering two young white girls in the segregated mill town of Alcaloo, South Carolina. It took 10 minutes for a jury to convict him and 70 years for a judge to exonerate him. In March 1944, Betty June Binnicker, 11, and Mary Emma Thames, 7, were riding their bikes around town searching for maypops when they encountered George and his younger sister, Amy. The girls stopped and asked the siblings if they knew where to find the fruit, to which George and Amy said no. But hours after the two pairs of children parted ways, hundreds of Alcaloo residents, including George's father, came together to search for the now missing little girls. George allegedly told a neighbor that he had spoken to the girls before they disappeared. That information resulted in him being arrested for the girls' murders after their bodies were found. George was interrogated for hours by several white officers without his parents' presence, knowledge, or consent. A deputy eventually claimed George confessed to the girls' murders, telling the deputies that he wanted to have sex with 11-year-old Betty, but had to kill 7-year-old Mary Emma to do so. Supposedly, when Mary Emma refused to leave, he allegedly killed both of them because they refused his sexual advances. There was never a record of a confession, nor physical evidence that proved he committed the crime. His quote-unquote trial lasted less than 2 hours, no witnesses called, no defense evidence was presented, and an all-white jury deliberated for 10 minutes before sentencing 14-year-old George to death. The young man who once stood 5 feet 1 inch tall and weighed 95 pounds sat on top of a Bible he brought as a booster seat in an electric chair at South Carolina State Correctional Facility that will soon end his short life. George Stinney's murder conviction was thrown out in 2014. His siblings say his confession was coerced and that he had an alibi. He was with his sister Amy watching the family's cow when the murders took place. Additionally, his family noted that a man named Wilford Johnny Hunter, George's cellmate, said that George denied murdering Binnicker and Thames. After months of consideration, on December 17, 2014, Judge Carmen T. Mullen vacated George's murder conviction, calling the death sentence a great and fundamental injustice. Today, George Junius Stinney Jr. is honored with a memorial in his town of Alcaloo, South Carolina. But his death is another stain on the cloth of America that will never wash away nor be forgotten. And if you didn't know, now you know.